Hello, everyone. Blessings to my master architects. Welcome. I'm Nefertiti, and let me just fix this here real quick. So the way that I do my videos, the way that I like to do it is I like to have my script up on my computer monitor. So a lot of times you'll see me looking this direction. That's because I'm referencing a lot of the notes that I've taken. This is a new sort of location because I built a laboratory out of the office that I was in before. So there's no more room for this setup in there. So we are now out in my living space. So this video is going to be on how I cultivated a bulletproof mindset. It's very easy to remember. It's 5 points. I created 2 worksheets for you, and they are hosted on my website, The Vibe University. Go ahead, click on those worksheets, download them. They are on Google Docs, and you can actually download it on your computer. If you are underage, please get consent from your guardians to use this worksheet. I tried to make this something that would be applicable for most people from the age of, maybe 6 or 7 on to, your elder years. So, but I get a lot of questions on how I achieve my physique. And so those of you who know me in real life know that I am very buff. And even though it's taken a year and a half, I want to say a year and a half has taken me to get to where I'm at, I made a lot of mistakes. I've made a lot of not only mistakes, but a lot of unnecessary movement in the wrong direction. And so instead of giving you my process and procedure for what I'm doing now, I figured I'll give you the mindset so that you can develop your own formula. This keeps Okay, let me just move this here. Is that better? I don't know. Anyway, I was going to do this video the other day. I did my makeup. I had my nails done, and God had other plans because as I was cleaning, all the nails came off. And so I'm just here, I'm just being myself, okay? I hope you guys don't mind it. So I created a TikTok, and the TikTok is going to be for fitness related information. So if you're looking to kind of find out my process now, you can go to TikTok, and my name is Meaty Nefertiti. So instead of Graffiti Nefertiti, it's Meaty Nefertiti because it's referencing that grade A beef that I've worked so hard to build on myself. Okay, so thank you to those. I want to say thank you because I have some folks on here from my workplace that asked me to make this video, and I'm really thankful because it gave me the push I needed to sit down and write the script out and the worksheets. So the Vibe University, go there. You can actually, I don't have all of the content that I want on there, but you can go on there. You can put your email address on there, and then you can be alerted when I start actually posting really great, informative content. But right now, I'm starting with the roadmap. The roadmap starts with the character development. You're going to see that on the website. So you go to the website. If the links are there, just go there. You can either download it or you can do it on your phone. It's very easy to do. So anyway, on TikTok, once I get to 100 followers, I'll go ahead and post some sophisticated angles as far as like what my physique looks like now, and we can go from there. But here's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. As far as this mindset, I just want to say this is a lifetime that I've spent in building the person I am today. So that's 43 years of learning and making mistakes and trials and tribulations and trial and error. So I started learning very, very young. I knew that I was different than most people when I was around 2 years old. I had a lot of interesting paranormal experiences. The world just never really seemed real to me. And I just knew that there was something different in me. I just didn't know what it was. I was too young to understand it. But I'm grateful that my mom taught me how to read. And before I learned how to speak, I was actually reading books before I could actually speak it out loud. And I don't know if my mom knows that, but that was one of the things that I really enjoyed doing with reading because it gave me a way to escape sort of my limitations that I had as a toddler. And, from then on, my parents provided a lot of educational tools for me. So I had a set of encyclopedias at the age of 6, and I read through it in about 4 years. Probably, I don't know. I really don't know exactly how long, but I just read through it in order. And that was something that really meant a lot to me because that was really the foundation for everything. I just exploded in curiosity after that. And, like everyone, I had hiccups in my life and things started to go awry. But what I really want to talk about is how I was able to upgrade the version of who I was. So if I look at myself as sort of like this avatar and AI, right? And I look at myself as something that can be upgraded, and which I recommend for you. If you look at yourself as someone who can upgrade their software, you can see that there are bugs in your program that you can actually eliminate and fix in order to create a better version. And then anything that really that you want to do, you'll be able to do because you'll have more efficiency in your mindset and you won't have a lot of mental blocks in the way. So the first thing that I really want to address is the mental diet. The mental diet is the most important thing before you start working on, your grocery list for working out or your fitness routine or starting to pay personal trainers. What you need to do, because what's going to happen is, this is how coaching works. Let me just explain it to you because I also am a life coach, which I have not decided to start taking clients on again. Don't get excited. Whoo. The thing about coaching is you make money based upon how long someone is your client. So the process is getting to know each other. So the client and the coach need to get to know each other. It's kind of like dating. And then as coaches, we have to determine what obstacles that particular person has. And then we have to determine, is it within our scope of practice to help that person through that obstacle or not? And a lot of times we're not qualified to do that because we're not therapists, we're not psychiatrists, we're not licensed to treat. So anything from the past that comes up, we're not really authorized to deal with that. The only thing coaches can do is help you develop a plan and for any particular goal that you're looking to do. So as a holistic life coach, I was helping people cultivate a healthy mindset and a healthy lifestyle. And a lot of these things would come up, and I ended up spending a lot of my time and my clients' time trying to convince them of what it is that they wanted to do. So the first thing I recommend you doing is you fix that yourself. You convince yourself of what you want to do. It's your responsibility to be suggestible to what it is that you want to do. That's no one else's job. You'll end up spending money, you'll end up getting frustrated, and you'll end up in the same spot. So what you need to do is start thinking about what it is that you're looking at when you're on your phone or when you're watching TV, because what you consume, you become. Pay attention to what you're paying attention to. It's very simple. I mean, whether it's TV, social media, books, the people that you talk to, what you're talking to these people about, are you gossiping all the time? I mean, think about it like this. I stopped going on Instagram a couple of months ago, and I have my reasons why I stopped going on Instagram. And it wasn't necessarily what the content was or that I was scrolling through things. I was going on Instagram to go to my DMs to see who was active and how long ago and why they weren't responding back to me. And that's just like not healthy. So I decided that doesn't matter to me. I don't care about that anymore. I took Instagram off my phone, like off my homepage, and I took Facebook off my homepage. It's still on my phone, but it's not there for me to go to. And now I don't go on Instagram. I don't even think about it. But if you're going on Instagram and you're looking at other people who have these bodies that you admire, or you're watching podcasts that talk about polarizing topics, what's happening is you're actually subscribing to what's called a pendulum. So pendulums are these, they're like these energetic structures. You can't see them, but they exist. And they use your vulnerabilities. They use your resentment, your dissatisfaction, your hatred, your frustration, your agitation, oppression, your weak spot. It uses all of that. It uses your sense of duty, your adoration, your idealization, your guilt. It uses all of that so that you can buy into it energetically and you actually create this cord to that particular pendulum. So say and I don't want to give any energy to this pendulum. Let's just say you have apples and bananas. And bananas think that apples are apples are gold diggers, and all apples are gold diggers. And apples think that all bananas are like dogs, right? And so people who are on the apple side are going to be against the bananas, and people on the banana side are going to be against the apples. And then what happens is you have like this whole crowd, and it doesn't matter what side what side you're on, because the pendulum operates on energy. In fact, the more negative energy you give it, the more the pendulum has energy to exist. The thing to be aware of is that you're paying attention to this. You have to start looking at these polarizing feelings that you have, and then neutralizing it and saying, I have no feelings toward bananas or apples, because in fact, I'm not looking for a banana and I'm not an apple. I'm actually a passion fruit and I'm looking for a coconut. Do you see what I'm saying here? I'm making it an example for you to understand. So pendulums are used by podcasts, they're used by news, political affiliations, organizations, agencies to capture your attention and therefore your energy to power the pendulum. Think about this. Some pendulums will even employ and have people oppose it. So say I want to make a pendulum out of myself, and I'm talking about how I can eat whatever I want and I only work out 1 day a week. I can actually pay another YouTuber to talk about how deplorable it is that I'm talking about this and how dangerous it is, and it's going to create this buzz, right? But as long as I'm getting energy and attention, it doesn't matter. So I'm actually employing the use of these people. I'm actually using them as free advertising to bring people to my channel. That's just a bit of an example, but you have to understand that this is how media works. The media is intended to take your energy away from you so that you are not in creator mode, so that you're in survival mode, so that every time you turn on the news, you're seeing a bunch of negative stuff happen all around the world. Fake news. It's all fake news. The only thing that's real news is what's going on here within you. Nothing else outside of you is real. Nothing. So being cognizant of potential pendulums will help to keep you from becoming a part of their timelines. And that's number one. You don't want to be a part of anybody's timeline without your full knowledge and consent. Okay. So be aware of fighting for or against these pendulums, as you inevitably will begin to manifest your own undesired results in relationship to these pendulums. And you only keep proving these pendulums to exist. So it's like, well, all bananas are like this and all apples are like this. Well, then all you're going to get in life are apple and banana scenarios. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, and I really hope that it does. So that's number one, your mental diet. I like to go on YouTube because I can choose to watch specific things that are relative to what I'm trying to achieve. And my recommended feed is going to show me what it is that I'm actually looking for on a daily basis. So if I ever need to check myself, I can look at my recommended feed. And if I see things that are like off, like I'm looking at too many memes or I'm looking at too many conspiracy videos, it's going to show me that. And then I use that feedback and that information as a tool to start researching better information that's relative to what it is that I'm trying to achieve. Okay, so number two, and this is something that is very important. I say mental diet is first, but the second thing is discipline. I made a whole video talking about discipline and making a disciple of yourself. You can go ahead and click. I'll go ahead and put a card up there for you to click on. I suggest you watch it. Have a notebook and have a pen and paper. Write down some notes, because I think there's a lot of valuable information in there for everyone. You don't need to be Christian, even though it's based on the Bible, but it's allegory, meaning that it's a parable that helps to confer a message or convey a message. Okay, so just watch the video, make a disciple of yourself, fortify your goals by committing to yourself and forming a marriage between your body and your mind. And you use the accessibility of your God consciousness, which is your ability to look outside of your physical being and outside of your personal, struggles and out of your consequences that we have in this three-dimensional reality, in order to create a new reality. And it's possible at any point. You're never too young, you're never too old, you're never too sick, you're never too disabled. You're able to do this from any point of view. And I've done it, many people have done it, and we want more people to do it. So the more disciplined you are, the more you uncover within yourself your gifts and talent that are waiting to be discovered like buried treasure. So it's important. Discipline is important. Keeping a clean home is discipline. Keeping my appearance up is discipline. Keeping my diet together is discipline. Even though I can kind of eat whatever I want, but being kind to other people and being giving is a discipline. It's all part of sharpening the tool of your mind, because the sharper you make your mind, the more efficient and the more exact you can get to your goal. So the third thing that I want to talk about, and this is something that's really hard to talk about, but this is red flags. And when we hear red flags, we think of red flags in other people and things to avoid in other people. What I mean is red flags within ourselves. Because the more you're able to identify your own red flags, and we all have them, the more we can deal with them, the more we can overcome them, and the more we can identify them outside of ourselves. So your own red flags are kind of, if I can make an analogy, I like to do that. If you're like a bull, bulls, red flags are used to taunt the bull and bring it into that direction. And that's exactly what God does with your trauma. God, sometimes when you're not paying attention to what you're supposed to be doing, your higher self is going to use your trauma as a red flag to say, hey, you're supposed to be coming in this direction and yet you're over there. So it's a really good thing when you have sort of these old, it's not a bad thing when you have flashbacks to memories that are not favorable, or say there's been some stuff that's happened in your life and you replay it in your mind. And sometimes you're able to swat those thoughts away, and sometimes they stay around and hang around for a while. I always use that as a notification to face what it is that I need to deal with. And so I call it when the chickens come home to roost. And that's basically when the traumas come back, when you have those cringe memories and you're thinking to yourself, I can't believe I did that, or I can't believe that happened to me. So every time you're about to level up, I promise you, this is the thing that I hate to break this to people, but it never stops. You are going to face this each time that you move forward in life and you level up. You're going to face these red flags. And so the good thing is, these red flags mean that you're very close to that leveling up. So that's the time that you should persist and with discipline, because when this happens, evolution is right around the corner. So there are many methods to deal with these memories. Like I said, I'm not a psychologist or a therapist, and I think that YouTube is vast enough for you to take the time to look up on how to process these emotional charges. But it's important that you learn how to do it and find methods that work best for you. But everything deserves a deep dive in its own respect. So whatever it is that's popping up, you can be sure that it's for a reason. But everybody has to deal with them, myself included. And I don't want anyone to think that because I look a certain way, or because I have a specific demeanor, or I posture myself a certain way, that I don't. I do, probably more so than an average person, which is why I am the way that I am. But you have to process that in order to achieve fulfillment. Okay, so the next thing is really super fun, and I made a worksheet for this, and I want everyone to do this, because you can do this as a kid or you can do this as a grown-up. Why not, right? So create a superhero character or create this alter ego. I have several of them, and there's lots of people out there that do the same thing. Nicki Minaj has a ton of alter egos, and I think it's really fun because she has like these different characters that she can jump into that sort of convey a different vibe. So Graffiti Nefertiti is sort of my consciousness. That's sort of, I like to imagine her as someone who's been here through the ages and someone who's here to deliver information. And the interesting thing is the name Nefertiti means the beautiful one has come. And so I mean that more than just my appearance, but There's something very beautiful about recognizing your power, and I want people to see that within themselves. I mean, it'd be a great thing, right? So in order to dictate, and with the superhero thing, I want to talk about, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot about designing your personality in order to dictate your personal reality. And you can do this at any point. You can change who you are based on the attributes you want to adopt. So I do this by creating a character for my goals. So another character that I have is Quadzilla. Quadzilla is that's my body. Quadzilla is sort of a dragon that is extremely strong and powerful. Quadzilla can get very upset and angry. Quadzilla can be destructive, but Quadzilla has learned how to channel. Quadzilla has learned how to channel that power into lifting weights and into eating, because it's in reference to my humongous muscular legs. But Quadzilla has learned how to take that power and use it for good. But there's a lot of different attributes that I assign to Quadzilla, and that's, she can bust through obstacles. She's not afraid of going places alone on public transportation. When she walks into the room, there's awe and there is admiration and even some fear. I mean, you have to have fun with it. It's actually a really good tool to use. But I call myself Quadzilla, and so like a Pokemon, I evolved her from a baby Quadzilla where she was very lean and she was muscular and lean, but now she's like adolescent Quadzilla, and when she walks in a room, it's like she's got a wide stance and people are like, "Hey, what's up?" Like everyone notices her. Like men are fainting and women are in awe. It's 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 all part of the creative process. But I like to think of myself as like, in my mind, I'm this 50-foot woman. And when I walk into a room, everyone knows who I am. They acknowledge me. And I created this, and I actually created that reality. So, in that process, I made my mind tell my body that whatever I eat, it's going to go to my legs, it's going to go to my glutes, it's going to go to my arms. Everything is going to be utilized to create hypertrophy, right? The activities I do, I'm going to extract the most out of it, so that way I don't have to spend all day, every day in the gym. Every bit of what I do goes into self-development. Okay, so you want your character to have levels of advancement, and with each level, they have to fight off different villains and demons, and that's your past, that's your previous traumas, that's memories. It's gonna those chickens come home to roost all the time. You can have a lot of fun creating the characters and even designing their physical appearance in your mind, and then just project it into the screen of space, and that is what you're going to become. So, even though there's a bit of a lag between your imagination and the three-dimensional reality, and we always talk about, like, it's very frustrating because there is a lag. It's not instantaneous, and that's just something that we have to learn how to do. But that lag is actually based upon your self-belief or your resistance to getting to that goal. That's the lag. The lag is completely dependent on whether you truly believe that you can actually achieve that the state of the wish fulfilled. Sorry, this like feedback. So it's important to take inventory of your current habits and start creating a list of habits that you'd like to have. And so in the worksheet, you're going to see the superhero powers, the superpowers, and then the super weaknesses. Those are your good habits and your bad habits. So be honest with yourself, and be ambitious to your current level of commitment. So if you start off too much, you're going to end up running out of steam and you'll have to start again. So start slow, take it easy, start with, one new habit, and then the next week, maybe another habit, and the week after that, a third habit. Start looking at your life as something that you're going to be constantly working on. It's never going to fully be done. Here's another thing. You're never fully going to be happy. You're never going to fully be satisfied. It's always going to be in a state of flux. That's what the wavelength is. It's to keep you moving so that you can continue growing and developing. Because if you just were happy, you'd stay here and you don't go anywhere. That becomes stagnant. It's like a cesspool. Okay, so another thing you could do for your superhero and your personality is to start studying body language. There's a ton of videos out there that you can create a library of animations and ways. And I like to use my hands a lot when I speak. People know that. You can even, use your facial expressions and eye contact as part of body language, because when you're speaking to someone, what they see is going into their subconscious. And so when you're speaking, yes, the words go into, what that person is hearing on the conscious level, but the body language is very subconscious. And most people don't know this, but I'll tell you this, when people are talking to me and God gave me the gift of being hard of hearing, I have learned to look at how people are responding to my presence and what their eye contact is like, their body language, just different things. And I can truly see what it is that they're truly trying to convey to me, like what the message is. And a lot of times it's very different from what they're telling me with their mouth. I'm just like, okay, that's great. And then I just find it funny. I think it's really cute that people just get nervous around me. And I think most people get nervous around people, right? But if you can get in control and look at yourself and start controlling your body language, then you will have the control over what message you're sending to other people. Do you see what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Okay. So it's a okay, so I pay attention to, like, when I'm talking to someone, I pay attention to their eye contact, their breathing patterns, the things they do when they get nervous. Sometimes I'll like do certain things to make them nervous, like I'll get a little hyper and people are like, whoa, and I just to see, so I can register what they're like, what expressions do they make when they're nervous, so that way I can kind of create this catalog of what this person is like. That's how I get to know people. 5. This is the last one. This is very important. Observe your self-talk. Observe your chatter that you have in here and the chatter you have here. Okay? It is extremely mentally beneficial to have full-on discussions and conversations with yourself, as you should, each and every day if you can, at least a few times a week, and sort of get to understand what it is that's coming out of your mouth. I call it the stream of consciousness. Just allow yourself to speak and pay attention to what it is that you're saying, because sometimes you'll get a lot more clues as to what it is that's going on just by hearing yourself speak. I mean, mental health is super important. Chop it up, catch it up with yourself, the happenings of the day to day. And yes, you can do this with friends, but it's more important for you to do this for yourself, by yourself. Express your opinions, be aware of your opinions, be aware of any pendulums that you've attached yourself to. No more pendulums 2023. I'm sorry. I'm not on anyone's agenda at all. Anyway, okay, so here's the bonus and the last part of it. And I really hope that you guys got some information, something valuable from this video. And I'm wearing this hoodie and there's no AC here. I am sweating, but this is my uniform. Here's the bonus. I recommend everyone do this. Drink water. Drink water. You need to try to drink maybe a gallon of water a day. I think that's probably like the best. Drink a gallon of water a day. And not only is it healthy for you, but this is the reason why. Okay, are you paying attention? Okay, water is the conductor of energy. And although you cannot see your voice or see your wish fulfilled in a 3D, water will help to project your idea and boost your energetic broadcasting by immersing your body with conductive properties so that every part of you will be able to transmit these unseen forces onto the world around you. Okay, so this is actually the science of sound, and that's called cymatics. And so I can do a video on that one day if you're interested. But water is actually something that's not only intended to keep your body healthy, but it actually helps to project what it is that you want. So be observant of your thoughts, be observant of your mental activities, be observant of what you're paying attention to, be observant of what pendulums you're committing to, be observant of what you're saying to yourself in your head, be observant of your body language and other people's body language, and be observant of the qualities that you want to inhabit within yourself. Be observant of the people that you're around. Be observant of everything. Pay attention. Be hyper vigilant about who you are. And I guarantee you, if you do this, if you get your mind in this in this state of prime fertility, everything that you choose to do in life will happen and unfold to your wish fulfilled. I can tell you right now that whatever it is that I want, whether it's happening right now or not yet, it's already mine. It's already conformed to my desire and my will. That's pretty much, I don't worry about it because it's mine. So anyway, thank you so much. Don't forget to comment below. Please comment one habit that you want to start doing this week that'll bring you into a higher state of consciousness that is going to benefit you in the long run. Again, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Nefertiti signing out.